G'day guys, Scott from RV Solutions. Just want to let you know a little bit about the van that we took away for the Easter. So this is a Wonderland 19'6" XTR. Has an east-west bed, separate toilet and shower. Being the XTR, it has virtually everything. We'd say that this is one of the first times we've actually taken a Wonderland away. We've been lucky enough to be working on it for quite a while, and we've had a lot of customers tell us how good they are. And now we've actually had a chance to use one. We're starting to believe the hype. We've always known they're a very good, well-built van and look very nice, but actually getting to use one, I can see what our customers are actually on about when they say it's quite different. So just run you through a few of the features, a few of the things we did like and a few of the things we didn't actually like that much on this van. So we'll try and give you as honest a review as we can. Basically running through inside. First things you'll notice is the east-west bed, which we weren't really too crash hot on when we first got the van. We thought this is going to be too small, it's going to be awkward climbing over each other. But to be fair, it was actually just fine. Really, wife slept on that side, I slept on this side. It was pretty rare that, we had to climb over each other to get up during the middle of the night. It was actually pretty good, and the actual length of the van that it shortens by, 19'6" versus a 21 foot to have the bed that way was quite beneficial. We were stuck behind a lot of slower travellers, so having a shorter, lighter van was quite beneficial to be able to overtake people where you needed to as well. When you're on a shorter trip and you're not you don't have weeks and weeks to go, you don't really want to dawdle so much on the road. You don't want to speed, but obviously you don't want to hang around either. Coming through the kitchen, really love the angled kitchen as well. I don't know if it actually gives you a lot more bench space, but it makes you feel like you've got a lot more bench space. Even just having the recessed stove lid over the top was super handy too. We just had a lot of prep room for kids' meals and that, so we generally pack all the kids' lunches the day before we went as well. We were prepped, that way we're going out in the boat or anything else, is super handy. The lounge was plenty big enough as well, so we've got 3 kids and a dog. But what we found as well, when we were sitting inside, having the bed there, it was quite easy to sit on the edge of the bed. So I'd sit on the edge of the bed, and generally there was heaps of room for everybody else as well, so found that quite beneficial. Come through the bunks, there's heaps of room in the bunk area as well. Having the 2 bunks was ideal. Now we've got 3 kids, but one's still quite young and sleeps in our bed anyway. Having the double bunks was brilliant. Also having the extra storage underneath was really good. There's an access point for that from the outside too, which makes it super convenient to actually use the space. First time I've actually used a front load washing machine in the caravan. I must admit it was pretty good. Yeah, it's quite small, but what we found we did was a small load of washing every day. So we didn't sort of let it build up like you would at home over a week and just smash out a few big loads. It's literally just one small load a day, and that was easily enough for our family of 5. We've got young kids. Our kids are 8 months old, 2 years old, and 5 years old. So yeah, they go for a lot of clothes. What we found in the bathroom area as well was a particularly good bit of space. Having the concertina door in the bathroom meant that it had a huge amount of area. So when the kids are up, it was very easy to get them changed here. It wasn't cramped. So you can imagine if there was a hard wall there, it's quite a squashy space. Also coming out of the bathroom area too, we were able to just shut this concertina door, and you had just a huge area where you could get dressed. Otherwise, what I found in bathrooms and vans is they can be a little bit squashy. So the idea is good, but when it comes time to actually get out of the shower, get yourself dry and get your clothes on, you're kind of a little bit cramped. Here we had plenty of room basically. Also having the mirrors, it was handy for my wife to be able to see how she looked, which she did several times a day. So the inside of the van was really really usable. Looking back that way as well, you can see there's just heaps of room inside. I mean, I've got messy kids who like to jump over everything. And yeah, as I say, we found it just a really well usable space. So one of the things that we found really handy on this particular model, especially because you've got the east-west bed, is you've got a double tunnel boot. So what I mean by that is huge access to the underbed storage, which normally you have still in a normal conventional van, where you have to lift the bed up to get underneath it. Here you just had a huge tunnel boot, and super usable. We found, because we're in Exmouth, we found that we had a lot of outdoor gear, so lots of fishing rods, flippers and goggles and all sorts of stuff that the kids like to have, the biscuit for the boat. There was so much room, all our matting, hoses, everything. There was heaps and heaps of room. And then we still had all the room in here as well. So again, this is actually a fridge slide out in this one. We didn't take a secondary fridge because we didn't actually need one. If we were going and fishing a little bit more, we would have filled it up with fish as a freezer, I suppose, but this trip we didn't need it. So again, now it's just more outdoor equipment. That was all my 4-wheel drive stuff. We basically kept the car virtually empty. Come around the front end as well, you've got another big storage box, exactly the same, on the other end of that tunnel boot. You'll notice on the Wonderlands as well is they've made this door quite high. The reason they've done that is you want to use a Weber on a slide out or a slide out kitchen. The size is already there, there's no modifications to be done. So they sort of forward thought that as well. The other side of that tunnel boot you can see is a really good size. So this is basically fishing rods set in here as well. All the outdoor stuff that you don't really want to be putting inside in the cupboard, especially longer bits. Small courtesy bits in here as well. Even Wonderland put the little excess door at the back of the fridge here too. It's not a lot of storage, and basically it's ideal for helping the fridge work in really hot temperatures. But again, it's a good place to keep stuffing on it. This is the storage underneath that second bunk. So again, you can just see that it's really good, handy, usable storage. It's easy to get to. So what I found, like even if you're stopping at Shell Beach on the way back from Monkey Mire or something and you want to get towels out, you've just come back from the beach, you've got external shower right there and you've got your towel storing there. It just means you're not sandy little bodies going in and out of the van. Just really, really handy stuff. Come around to this door side of the van too. One thing that I found particularly handy was the actual airbag suspension being on a remote too. When we got to the caravan park, putting down your jack legs is normal, but then when you wanted to level the van up, it was simply a case of just pushing a button, and you can see the van just leveling itself up. So we had quite an uneven sight, and this made it super handy. I mean, you're talking nearly a 5-inch lift between all the way up and all the way down. And just, yeah, the touch of a button, it was super, super handy. So there was 2 or 3 things we didn't actually like about the van, or didn't hate, but didn't love either. I thought maybe it could be a little bit better. Firstly, stone guards and caravans, I'm not a huge fan of. Yes, they do protect the front, but most of the bits of the front are in checker plate anyway, so they're already stone protected, so to speak. What I find by having the stone guard on, even with an extended A-frame or this one, is it dramatically cuts down your turning circle. So when you do want to get into really tight spots, you can potentially find a jackknife on the back of the cruiser. That I didn't find particularly great. There were small little minor issues that we found, and it's quite small. Is this overhead cupboard here you do need to get to. It's where your electrical components are. There's a table that moves out of the way, but it is still quite a tight little access to get in here. Especially if you're not particularly tall like myself. Now all your switches and everything in here too. What I found is you're constantly leaning up on the actual bed to try and use it. So again, you're either standing on your tippy toes or you're trying to look inside the cupboards to try and get your appliances up here. If that table was over another 3 inches, it'd be perfect. Alright, so one last little moan about the van, and it's super, super minor. Beautiful tapware, beautiful sink. It's probably going to be more of a bloke's thing. But when you're brushing your teeth and you tend to put your mouth under the tap to get there, it's really hard to get under because it's a bit shallow. It should just be a slightly bigger tap. That's it.